Hello, everyone. Michelangelo Mortellaro with Mortellaro Law. So we're back for our Friday lunchtime discussions, and today I am so happy to be here with Quinn. She is the local guru realtor in the Tampa Bay area, and has actually appeared 7 times on House Hunters on HGTV, which is more than any other realtor in the country. So, real quick, how'd you get the gig on HGTV?
It's funny. My very first episode just went really well, so my producers kept on calling me back. And in order to give my buyers the whole experience of home buying, I decided to use it to let them know that that is an option for them if that's what they wanted to do.
Very cool. So, you know, I've known you now for several years, and you've done a great job, I think, as making yourself into kind of the go-to realtor in the senior services community. And every realtor kind of has their niche, whether it's commercial or residential, whether they're buyer, whether they're seller. But specifically in senior services, in the folks that work in home health care, folks that work in assisted livings and memory cares, it seems that whenever I walk in their office, your brochure is front and center on their desk. Um, Without giving away the secrets to the other realtors, um, how did you manage to become the household name in senior services realty?
I really think it's just about strengthening relationships. What is their need? And I'm really just there to kind of help them along. Selling a home is really the last thing on their minds, the clients to go into an AL. So really, I'm the last resort. The only thing is, along the way, they're going to need an elder law attorney, a home health care person, a placement company. And I like to be that connector.
I think you do a great job at that. So one of the things that I like that you are able to do and you do well is when you're working with families, specifically if they need veterans benefits or Medicaid benefits, you understand the dynamic of the bigger picture.
Oh,
Many
absolutely.
realtors, many realtors just go in, they're like, okay, I'll sell your house because I get a quick commission and I can sell it
Right.
quickly and then
And
leave
in
you.
doing so, that disrupts their benefits.
Absolutely. And so
Right.
that's important for other realtors to know that if you really want to be of the highest level of service to your clients, make sure you understand the larger dynamics, and that in doing your job, and you may be doing it very well, you could inadvertently, have your client step on a landmine. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of different topics today. What are you seeing pre and post COVID? I keep hearing kind of rumor on the street that the housing market is still strong, and inventory is low and things are selling quickly. But I just kind of hear that in the distance from someone who does it on a daily basis. What are you seeing the impact, if any, on COVID in selling properties?
I totally agree with you on everything that you said. When our quarantine first happened, there was a slight dip. There was a time where I want to say a week or maybe even 2 weeks where there were no showings. We were just afraid to go outside. We didn't know what to do. But honestly, after that, it went full force. We were really good at pivoting. So we did FaceTime, virtual tours. There has been just so much activity going on. If there is a house that is around the market value, there's always going to be multiple offers.
All right, so you're still seeing a strong market. Um,
Yeah, yeah, because inventory is so low.
what talk to I know you have your senior realtor designation, and that's a course and potentially a test that you have to take to obtain that. What do you think the advantage of someone who may be wanting to sell their house? And I always laugh. I say everybody knows a realtor. Many of them don't do it as a career, and it's more of a hobby. And there are many that I have dealt with my own clients that are honestly not very good and responsive. But when someone's looking for a realtor and they are a senior, or maybe they're looking on behalf of a senior family member, what does that designation do, and what questions should someone ask a realtor, specifically if they're dealing with a senior and either buying or selling a property for them?
Yeah. So let's dial it back even one step and just looking at just a regular real estate agent. The barriers to entry into this industry is very paltry. It is just 45 hours, and then you get to be a realtor. You have 45 hours. If you're 18 years old and you pass the state exam, you get to be a realtor. So just to give you some sort of comparison, to be a nail tech, you have to have 240 hours. It's crazy, right? It is absolutely crazy. I have graduated from the University of South Florida with a finance degree. I knew that I wanted to have some sort of investment background. I didn't realize it was going to be real estate, but I'm happy I chose it. Additionally, I decided to do senior real estate because that's where my passion is. I love helping our elders, and I think that's just a cultural thing for me. And it's not just about getting the designation, it's about building those relationships too. So it's not just these initials behind my name. It's, oh, I've got this situation. Who can you refer me to? And I have someone, sometimes three for them to choose from.
Very good. What questions should be, okay, so you raise a really good point of the number of realtors that are getting licensed. I
Oh,
think at
yeah.
some
In
point,
Pinellas County, there's like over 10,000.
yeah, at some point, I think I had heard the number that it was like 2,000 a month of people getting their real estate license across the state.
I wouldn't
So,
doubt it.
so what are some probing questions, or are there some magic questions that someone can ask a prospective realtor to kind of figure out if they're the real deal or if maybe they should keep looking?
Right. Because everyone knows a realtor, right? There are some questions that I would ask. For example, how long have you been in the industry? You really don't want someone that just got their feet wet. You don't want your largest transaction to be the very first transaction that they do. And it's not just about longevity in the industry, but productivity during that time too. I've talked to realtors that have been in the industry for over 30 years, but they might sell a house once a year, or they're not a full-time realtor, they're a part-time realtor. That's a big difference. Our industry changes all the time. There's new technology in place. There's law reforms, and they really have to know all of those things in order to protect your highest asset. In addition to, what soft skills do they have and what technical skills do they have? Like you mentioned, VA and Medicaid benefits. I can't just sell a house and disrupt their benefits. They really have to know on a higher level those type of things. Divorce situations are very much the same way. And then actually just talk to them for a while. See how their body language is. Can you really work with them? Because that person is going to be your best friend for the next month. So you really have to really have a great working relationship with them.
Good, good. Let me ask you this. We live and die like on our Google reviews, and people, look us up, and they can look us up on the Florida Bar website and see if we've had any disciplinary action. Is there a website or a place that someone can do independent research on a realtor to see how active they are, like how many homes they've sold, or what their reputation is within the industry? If there's, I don't, do you guys even have like ethics violations and sanctions and stuff? Is there something that if someone wants to dig a little deeper to find out the background of a realtor, are there any resources?
Yeah, I really think I think there is. We do have an ethics board. I'm not really sure how to go about that. I'm sure if you just call the board, they can mention some names. I really think though that if their name is on there, you definitely don't want to work with them. But more so, just talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. If you are, talk to your attorney. Most of the time in the senior world, they are already going through some of those things. Home health care. Talk to those people because I think I have been in senior real estate for probably like 6 years. I've been a realtor for just under 10 years, but specifically senior real estate in 6 years. And I think that with that reputation being around for so long, I'm not just going in and going out. I'm doing it for the long haul, and I've got a reputation of really great service.
You absolutely do. So aside from the senior stuff, is that your sole focus right now? I know that you personally have some rental properties in your own portfolio. Do you help investors identify investment properties or flips or things of that nature?
Yeah, like a true investor, I believe in diversification. So I've got long-term rentals, short-term rentals, and I think that really speaks to the knowledge and experience because not only do I have the academics behind it, but the real world experience behind it as well.
Very good. Are you seeing that that real property is a solid investment right now? I mean, I know that historically, prior to the 2007-8 collapse, the everybody said you can never go wrong with real property, and if you own it long enough, like it's going to appreciate in value, and you can get passive income, and it just makes a lot of sense. Obviously, that all got turned on its head back in the crash, but it seems to me from the outside that since the recovery, it's been strong even when the economy has been not so hot. It seems like real estate has been doing well. If you had a crystal ball, would you say that investing in rental properties and in income producing properties right now is a good idea, or do you think the market may be too hot and wait for a pullback before you jump in to buy something that you're hoping to gain equity in?
Well, that's a great question, and I'm going to answer it the way an attorney would. Well, it all depends.
Thanks, Gwen.
Depends. It depends on what you're going to acquire the property for, what the capital outlay is, and what your monthly cash flow will be. So it really all depends. Are there still deals out there? Absolutely. I see them all the time. But you really have to be a savvy investor in this market because all the good ones are getting eaten up really quick. And I'm going to say that you really can't finance those. You have to have cash.
So is it fair to say that if someone's looking for an investment property, finding a realtor such as yourself that not only has the skill set to find a deal, negotiate, close it with the least amount of speed bumps, but someone who may be able to kind of walk you through the future financial dynamics of what that
Absolutely.
property may do, how much it may perform, and overall quality of investment, because you've done it. And if you've probably had some that have been, in hindsight, maybe not your best investment, and then you've had some that have done better, and from that you've learned.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we're in a world right now where it's multiple offers wherever you go. And I can tell you that I have won multiple offer situations because my name is on that contract, independent of everything else, because my name was on there. Because I
I,
could
I
get it to the closing table.
well, I know so many clients that have used you in the past, and I've never heard a complaint. And not only that, so it's always nice when you give a referral that you don't have a complaint, because that's our nightmare situation of why did you send me to someone who's terrible. But on the converse, I consistently get feedback of like, wow, thank you so much. This realtor went out of her way. She met me on an evening or a weekend. She worked hard. This buyer was trying to pull out, and she came in and softened that and finished the deal the way we wanted it, where we could all walk away happy. So I think that's important, that people know is not only that you can find someone if the market's good. I remember back in, whether it's the dot coms from the late 90s or whether it's the housing boom from the early 2000s, when the economy's good and when a sector is hot, like, you don't really have to be good. I remember back in, 04, 5, 6, people were doing for sale by owners, and they're like, oh, I don't even need a realtor. I slapped a for sale by owner sign in my front yard, and by 8 o'clock that night, I had 6 offers for more than my asking price. So I
Right.
think a
But I
lot of
think the
realtors.
hardest thing that people don't understand is that you can get the contract so quickly now. The hardest thing is to get it to the table. So
Yeah.
I had someone that decided not to use me as a realtor and used a friend of a friend of a friend. Had multiple contracts on it. I think she said there was like 5 or 6 contracts on it. They never went to the table, and now the listing expired.
Wow. So definitely when times are good, anybody can at least attempt to be their own realtor, or the realtors come out of the woodwork. I know when the market was hot, people were giving up their day job and thinking that this was going to continue and be able to make a lot more money as a realtor. And then when things dried up, things got tough. So when I'm looking at realtors, I never want to discriminate against the new person, because we all were new at some point, whether it's attorneys or realtors or doctors. But you kind of don't want to be their guinea pig, and you also don't want someone that does it as a
As a
part
hobby.
time. Yeah, you don't want a realtor that just sells homes for their vacation money, because
Right.
they're not motivated and just to get enough to take the vacation or put a down payment on the new car, and that's not their sole focus. Um, So what other things do you think, what are things you want people to know about finding a realtor or working with you in particularly?
I really think that there needs to be a lot more research in finding your realtor. It's funny because we always read through so many testimonials about different products and services. And when it comes to real estate, I see a lot of people choosing a realtor um, that they know as a person, but not as the professional. So when you're researching that, research the professional.
That's a good point. I have a lot of clients because we do probate, because we do elder law, and there are people that are either leaving their homes permanently to go to a senior, residence solution, whether it's independent, assisted, memory, or skilled nursing. And then we also have people passing away. And I always try to be a resource for those clients and say, listen, I have a realtor or I have a group of realtors, depending on your geographic location, that are really good and can get you top dollar and close quickly and have the least amount of headaches. And inevitably, it's like, oh, I have a cousin who's a realtor. And I always ask the question, how many homes have they sold? Like, well, they kind of do it part time, but I'll be the black sheep of the family if I don't, use the family member. And I always tell them, listen, I know it might cause problems, but do yourself a favor. You owe it to yourself. If this is your property and you've worked hard and you've kept it up and you've built some equity, like why wouldn't you want to squeeze out every penny of the equity that you deserve? And
Absolutely.
if it's a family member's property, like I think you owe a quasi fiduciary duty to them to maximize the profits from what they've worked hard for. And putting it with a realtor who maybe doesn't have the expertise in the senior world, doesn't have the longevity in the industry, and doesn't have a very active portfolio and an active business, and more does it as a hobby, I think is very problematic.
Right. Choosing the right realtor can save you thousands of dollars. I remember I was negotiating one time where someone tried to tell me that they could not move forward with a contract because of something on the inspection. I knew better and I totally discounted it, and that saved my seller like $6,000. But really what he tried to say was they couldn't move forward because it was an insurance issue. It wasn't, and I knew it.
So having the knowledge to be able to call out a herring if indeed there is one. And there may be some people that try to get out of the contract by using something
Oh,
within.
absolutely.
You know,
All the time that
how often are
happens.
you seeing people that are? Let me ask you this question because I don't know the answer. How many real estate transactions, start to finish, go smoothly without a hiccup, percentage wise?
Smoothly without any type of hiccups.
Not any hiccups, like just start to finish. You put it on the market, you get and save the deal.
Oh, behind the scenes, it happens all the time on probably every single transaction. Now, I can't say that the client is actually going to know what happens. I really try to make that experience as smooth for them as possible because most of the time, as you know, my clients are seniors. They are already battling health issues or they're grieving a loved one. If I can save them that pain, that's what I'm going to do. And they're not going to know the behind the scene chaos that happens in every single file.
Yeah, we do the same here. I mean, if the clients
That's
knew,
why we work so well together.
maybe if the clients knew all the fires that we put out for them before they became blazing infernos and affected the client, I think they would
They
certainly
just cry.
an eye-opening experience to that. All right, well, listen, it's I appreciate your time today. Any final thoughts, final words, um, and then I'll kind of sum it up at the end.
No, that's it. Thank you so much for having me here today.
You're very welcome. We always appreciate working with you. We know firsthand your integrity, your honesty, how hard you fight for your clients. And again, the number of times I've been able to refer you is numerous, and I've always had very positive feedback. So, what I will tell my audience is that if you are in the market for whether it's buying or selling, whether you're a senior or not, but certainly if you are a senior or you're working on behalf of a senior, please reach out to Quyen. She does a great job. Also, check out, as you can see behind her, oh, you don't have your Conversations with Quyen banner up, you just have your name. But check out Quyen's Facebook, Conversations with Q. She's always really good interviews, not necessarily about real estate, but some of the people you've had on. You had a guy from the education department on. You've
Right.
had some politicians on. So really interesting. Give a plug for Conversations with Q.
Thanks so much.
All right. So thank you guys. If anyone has any questions, we will put not only our contact information in the description, but we will also put contact information for Quyen on there, and check out Conversations with Q. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day and have a great
Bye.
week. Bye.